Hello, beloved. I pray that you are well today. It's a beautiful day here by the ocean, so there's going to be some wind and seagulls, and who knows, cats may come over and knock off the camera or what have you. But I just thought you might want to know this. Um, we've got a lot going on about this eclipse that's coming up, and eclipses don't cause solar interference. They don't cause all this. They don't cause the need for all the government to be out doing all the things they're doing and etc. So, whatever's going on behind that, I don't know. It's probably some other form of scam or some psyop or something. But what is going on, what the deal is about the eclipses, they don't explain this. And, there's a hierarchical level in any sort of Gnostic religion, or any of the things like Egyptian priesthood. You've got the acolytes, you've got the lower levels, the plebes, etc. And they work up to the people at the top who really want to know what's going on. And often the symbology is set for certain levels. So this level gets this picture of the deity, and this level gets a little more, and this level gets a little more, and it goes on and on and on until you get into the top. And so what's going on about the eclipses? I'm just explaining this to Christians, really. If you look at Revelation 8:12, Revelation 8:12 is describing the view of a micronova of our sun. This is the reason they went to the moon, is because they found a bunch of tektites, and the tektites were clean. They weren't dirty. Tektites are debris that's thrown out of volcanoes that they find around the earth, and they usually have a lot of crap in them from the explosion, from the impact, melted sand, and all this kind of stuff flies around. And then they also find tektites from meteorites. Now, I'm sorry about the wind. I'm going to try to talk louder, but there's going to be a little breeze because of where I'm at. So the tektites end up splattering all over the world, and then they find this layer, and it's got these little microscopic tektites in it, which they kind of look like dumbbells. They're just like two teardrops attached in the middle. That's because they've been flying at like 15,000 miles a second or some kind of crazy speed. And they're just debris. Well, they find these tektites all over the world, and then they go, okay, well, about this period, because we're going to analyze the material next to it, and we're going to say this happened about, 1,200 years ago. There was a meteorite struck the Yucatan Peninsula, or 12,000 years ago, or whatever numbers. Sometimes they just make up numbers, but whatever. So they're going to say that it came from this, and they're going to track the debris field all over the world, and they're going to tell you where it came from. Well, they found a bunch of tektites up in northern Canada back in the late 40s, early 50s, and these tektites were clean inside. They didn't have a bunch of debris. Well, you can't make clean tektites here on Earth, so they had to come from somewhere. The only place they could come from is from the sun. So that's why they went to the moon. They didn't go to the moon to prove that the American penis was bigger than the Russian penis, or that JFK was the greatest thing, or we're doing it because, that's just herd stuff. That's just what they tell the masses when they're going to do something. And so that's why they went to the moon, and they did go to the moon. But this is also why we have, Project Bluebeam. We have all these aliens all the time on the television, and why the psyop about the flat earth is going on. It's just a psyop. It's not science. It's just, they tell you enough stuff and they mix it up enough. And if you don't know, then you just don't know. You fall for it. And we do this all the time. It's standard operating procedure on this planet. It's also why they tell people that they didn't go to the moon. So they're pushing all these ends, and they'll make it that way. It's just simply like you get you produce a document, you put that out there, you let there be a lot of raving about this document, that it's, it proves this theory or something, but meanwhile it's a fake that they purposely typed on the wrong typewriter so that some exploring little genius will go and say, oh, this couldn't be this. And so it creates a false thing, and then they tear it down. And that's exactly how this works. It's very simple. But what they're actually covering is just that our sun micronovas on a schedule. That's why the Tower of Babel, that's why CERN, the Tower of Babel's not just a tower where they thought they'd get to heaven. That's just stupidity. Okay? And that's exactly why the flood came. It's all because of this one thing. And what they're going after is visible, but it's invisible to people who do not know. I'll try to explain what the big goal behind all this is. What the big goal is that the people at the top on this planet, they worship Apollo, Abaddon, Apollyon, Shiva. It makes no difference. You can say any of them you want. They're all the same thing. If you look behind the Pope and he's standing here and he's got this weird statue, that has nothing to do with Jesus. That's them coming up out of the pit. All they want to do is bring back the demons from the pit. They're bound under Tartarus. The Bible is science. It's not a jack off. It's not mythology. Okay, it uses a cover story, but it's really science. They're telling you what's coming, and that's who they worship, and that's who they're following. The Statue of Liberty is not a woman. The Statue of Liberty is Apollo. Okay, why do they have CERN, the scientific program going on? They're all doing little witchy dances. Okay, and if you know demons, you can smell that stuff. Okay, you can see what's going on there. Okay, so why are they doing this? Why is Shiva there? Well, Shiva is just another embodiment of the same deity. Shiva is Apollo, Apollo is Abaddon, Apollo is Apollyon, and they're going to bring them up out of the pit. That's all the plan is. That's Satan's whole plan. That's the entire plan. Bring them back up out of the pit. That's what they're going to do, and God's going to let them do it this time. Man is basically suicidal as a species. Adam is what we are. By the way, there's no races. There's no such thing as races. If you can do this between this, and it makes a baby, okay, that means they're the same species, okay? So the racism is just a jack off to get in your head and get you all confused, because the black guy is the white guy, is the Mexican guy, is me, is you. We're just Adam. We're Adam. We're a species. God made us for a purpose. If you look at Scripture, when God breathed into Adam, he breathed into all of us. That's his breath. And we're not told this. It just all sounds like a bunch of mythological gobbledygook. And the people who are teaching most of the time, they don't know anything. And the real people at the top, they're not telling anything. It's very, very simple. That's what's running the earth. That's what's behind everything. Everything you see has multiple levels. It's just like trying to look at paintings from the 1600s. If you don't know all the little cues from that period, you'll just say, oh, this is a nice painting, but you won't understand that pelican in the corner means this, and this is actually a statement about something else, because we don't understand. Culturally, we're kept in the dark, okay? We're a herd, basically. But the thing is, they feed off of us. And so what's coming is a micronova of the sun. Okay, there's two big pieces here. One, they want to bring up their demons out of the pit. And it's everywhere. It's here. Everything is twisted like this. All the days of the week. Do you worship Thor on Thor's Day? Freya on Friday? Every number in the Arabic numerical system that we used has been used in alchemy and every other kind of thing. Everything's connected. So don't get all freaked out or anything. It's always been this way. This is the way the enemy does. Scripture says principalities, powers, rulers of spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what runs everything. And they have a goal. Now, they may put it in books and say, oh, we're going to bring back the old gods. They're not old gods. They're just freaking demons. They're just pigs, okay? They left their first estate. They shed everything that we're going to get. Okay, we're humans. We're made a little lower than the angels, but we're crowned with glory. And we get a body like Jesus's body, okay? We're a very special creation. This is how God made his wife, the bride of Christ, the Hebrew wedding ceremony, Song of Solomon. That's all the word is about. But there are real physical things that are coming and that are happening. Now, all these religious people and the Jews and a lot of the people at the lower levels are all going, oh my God, this eclipse means this and this eclipse means that. And all the eclipses are just a sign of what's coming, okay? He's going to blow it all up. He's going to burn it down. In fact, this time he's going to let us, with the demons, get what they want and let them have it and let them burn it all out, because he's clearing the whole thing. He's just plowing it all under. He's letting us and the demons plow it all under. So you can't reach everybody. People can't understand this. They can't understand how much they're loved. They can't understand how insanely valuable every single human being is, because basically we're cells in God's wife. okay? And God's partner, God's muse, whatever you want to call it, the bride of Christ, it makes no difference. There's a ton of names in Scripture for it. We ourselves, Jesus said, we are living stones built up in a holy house. Are you a stone? No, we're not stones. What's he trying to tell us? Jesus is the chief cornerstone. Satan always wants to say capstone, that he's at the top, like the Royal Arch Masons and all that stuff. That's not him. Jesus is the chief cornerstone from which you get the length and the dimensions of what we are, okay? So just let yourself be had by God. Don't worry about all this crap. Now, the government may be doing all kinds of crazy stuff. There's multiple levels of secrecy behind this. All these government agencies, they really work for the same thing. They're all after the same goal. They want to bring up their gods. But they can't tell you that. They have to make up, fakey stories to tell us. So just let yourself be had by the Lord. He knows you. He loves you. It's not a jack-off. They're going to turn it into that, but it makes no difference. That's what they always do. Let yourself be had by God. It's time, beloved. You can smell it. You can taste it. I don't give a shit. You can be whatever you want, but you can smell it. You know it's time. You can sense it. It's in the air. You can taste it, okay? Let yourself be had by God. It's just time. I don't want to make this any longer than it is. All this very best. See you on the flip with Jesus. God bless.